The containment field hummed with barely restrained power as the transport vessel docked with research station Kepler-7. Through the reinforced viewport, Dr. Alara Quinn watched the cargo bay pressurize, her datapad already filling with warning notifications. The Varathi cub inside that crate was, according to every xenobiological database in the Galactic Union, one of the most dangerous juvenile specimens ever captured. Dr. Quinn, I must protest this arrangement, chittered Overseer Thalrex, his mantis-like appendages clicking nervously. Your species has only been part of the Union for 30 cycles. You lack the proper fear response. Alara smiled softly, adjusting her bioscanner. Perhaps that's exactly what we need here. The Varathi were apex predators from a death world that made Earth look like a paradise garden. 7 feet tall as adults with obsidian scales, venomous talons, and a bite force that could crush durasteel. They'd rejected every diplomatic overture from the Union with extreme prejudice, often by eating the diplomats. The only reason this cub, designated Ronak, was here at all was because it had been found orphaned near a destroyed colony world. No one else had wanted the assignment. Alara had volunteered immediately. The crate door opened with a pneumatic hiss. The research team stepped back. Alara stepped forward. Ronak emerged slowly, each movement liquid grace wrapped in midnight scales. Even as a juvenile, barely 3 feet tall, the cub radiated danger. Its golden eyes swept the sterile laboratory, pupils contracting to razor-thin slits. A low rumble emanated from its chest. Not quite a growl, not quite a purr, but something that made every non-human in the room activate their personal shields. Alara deactivated hers. Dr. Quinn. Thalrex's voice pitched upward. Regulations clearly state, our guidelines, not absolutes, Alara finished calmly. She knelt slowly, making herself smaller, less threatening. Hey there, little one. I know this place is scary. Ronak's head tilted, nostrils flaring. The cub took one step forward, then another. Its claws, each one capable of disemboweling a grown Kantari, clicked softly against the polished floor. The rumbling intensified. Alara remained perfectly still, breathing steadily. She'd studied every byte of data on Varathi physiology, but more importantly, she'd grown up on a farm in Montana with animals everyone said were too dangerous to handle. Wolves, bears, mountain lions. She'd learned young that predators weren't mindless killers. They were survivors just like everyone else. The cub stopped 3 feet away, its massive head level with Alara's. This close, she could see the iridescent shimmer of its scales, the way its spines lay flat against its skull. Not aggression, but uncertainty. Ronak's tongue flicked out, tasting the air, and something shifted in those ancient golden eyes. Then the impossible happened. Ronak moved forward and pressed its snout gently against Alara's chest, directly over her heart. The rumbling changed pitch, became softer, almost questioning. Before anyone could react, the cub circled once like a cat finding the perfect spot and climbed directly into Alara's lap. All 70 pounds of apex predator curled up like a house pet. The laboratory erupted in chaos. Alarms shrieked. Security protocols activated. Thalrex was screaming something about immediate separation, but Alara barely heard him. She was too busy watching Ronak's spines gradually flatten completely, watching those lethal claws retract, watching the cub's breathing slow and synchronize with her own. Slowly, carefully, Alara raised one hand and placed it on Ronak's head. The cub leaned into the touch. By the void, whispered Dr. Siskarath, the reptilian behavioral specialist. It's treating her like Pack. Impossible, Thalrex insisted, though his voice had lost its certainty. Varathi don't have pack bonds. They're solitary hunters. Even juveniles need someone, Alara said quietly, her fingers finding a spot behind Ronak's auditory ridge that made the cub's rumbling intensify into something unmistakably contented. Every species does. Maybe we've been so busy being afraid of them that we never stop to ask what they're afraid of. She looked down at Ronak, who had tucked its head under her chin, tail wrapped around her waist. The cub was trembling, not with aggression, but with something far more familiar. Relief. Exhaustion. The desperate need to feel safe after losing everything. Alara had seen it before, in the eyes of every rescued animal that had ever trusted her enough to be vulnerable. What's that smell? Asked Skrath suddenly, her tongue flicking rapidly. The human is producing some kind of pheromone. Oxytocin, Alara explained softly. My brain's releasing it in response to physical comfort. It's a bonding hormone. Humans produce it when we care for others, when we feel connection. She paused, feeling Ronak's breathing deepen as the cub drifted toward sleep. Maybe that's the difference. You all see a weapon to be contained. I see a scared kid who needs someone to hold them. Thalrex's appendages had stopped clicking. This changes everything. If Varathi can form bonds with humans, if humans can calm them when no other species can, then maybe, Alara interrupted gently, we've been approaching first contact all wrong. Not every species needs diplomatic protocols and non-aggression pacts. Some just need to know they're not alone. Ronak made a small sound, almost like a sigh, and burrowed deeper into Alara's embrace. One clawed hand, capable of such destruction, rested trustingly against her forearm. In that moment, the entire research station fell silent, watching something unprecedented unfold. A human and a creature bred for nothing but violence, finding peace in each other's presence. It wasn't logical. It defied all predictive models and behavioral algorithms. But as Alara Quinn sat on the cold laboratory floor, cradling an apex predator like a child, she knew one truth that humanity had understood long before they reached the stars. Sometimes, the most dangerous thing you can do is show kindness, and sometimes it's the only thing that can bridge the gap between worlds. Ronak purred, and for the first time since entering Union space, the sound wasn't a threat, it was a promise.